are misusing the power of
Judge Man with an attack power.
He's gonna catch 'em all, but he's Danny Phantom, gonna catch 'em all, but he's...
It's time for Animaniacs. And we're saying
Oh, hello. Sorry if I don't feel my usual self today, but apparently after dying, you get a bit of a headache.
come join the Warner Brothers and the Warner Sister Dot.
Life is like a hurricane.
I had a chat with my doctor yesterday. He said I couldn't get angry at anything. So instead of going crazy with crappy PC games, I decided to do what I always did as a sick kid. Stay in bed and watch some cartoons. When I was a kid back in the UK, my days would usually consist of two things: play video games and watch cartoons. What can I say? Simple kid, simple needs. Man, we saw some amazing cartoons pass by, didn't we? And this was helped by the fact that cartoon channels were absolutely everywhere. Cartoon Network, Fox Kids, which later became Jetix, Disney Channel, Nickelodeon. You could easily flip through all of these channels and spend the entire day with the best cartoons. I have so many fun memories watching these shows. Coming back from school, laying the table, sitting down and eating in front of shows like Codename Kids Next Door, SpongeBob SquarePants or Teen Titans. Those were the days. In fact, these cartoons were such a huge part of my childhood, it always seems fitting that we have another look at them. I mean, I can't play any bad games today, so what better time than to look at some of the best cartoons of our generation. And let's kick things off with a show we already talked about in the past, Shaolin Showdown. Oh, we're starting with some gold right here. Shaolin Showdown was one of my favorite shows as a kid, and for good reason. It just had everything. Interesting story, likable characters, threatening villains, and was just all around hilarious. If you've seen my Shaolin Showdown game review, then you already know the plot, but if not, let me recap once more. Long ago, a war raged on between two powerful warriors, Master Daishi and the Hailing Witch Wuya. After a long battle, Daishi managed to imprison Wuya inside a small wooden puzzle box before scattering his weapons called the Shenggong Wu across the globe in order to keep the world in balance. How they managed to do that, I've got no clue, it's a kid's show. 1,000 years later, 4 Shaolin warriors are chosen to be the successor of Master Daishi. Omi, the Shaolin Dragon of Water, Kimiko, Shaolin Dragon of Fire, Raimundo, Dragon of Wind, and Clay, Dragon of Earth. Very subtle with the last one. The funny thing about these characters is that they're basically the incarnations of what New Yorkers think people from other countries are like. Kimiko is from Japan, so of course she's a computer freak with gadgets, phones, video games. Raimundo is Brazilian, so he's a hothead, acting cool and quippy, always trying to chat up the ladies. Clay is from Texas. Yeah, kind of speaks for himself. And then there's Omi, which... God, I still haven't figured out which culture is being butchered by little twerp. China? Tibet? Singapore? Chinatown? I don't know! To keep the balance, the Shaolin warriors must travel the world to stop people from finding the Shenggong Wu before them. This new evil is in the form of Jack Spicer, Evil Boy Genius, a disembodied Wuya, and later on Hailing Warrior Chase Young. These battles are resolved via Shaolin Showdowns, which are basically playground games, but on a much bigger scale. So to summarize, think of the show as a mix between a treasure hunt, playground games, kung fu, and a Japanese game show. You can't go wrong. Shaolin Showdown managed to blend the right amount of humor, action, and character development. These characters may have just started off as stereotypes, but soon they became a lot more three-dimensional with their needs, fears, anguishes, and Raimundo is a prime example of this. He goes from a whiny, full of himself little brat into a true warrior, and at the end, the leader of the group. Yeah, you wouldn't expect that after seeing him in episode 1.
I saw my room and no bed, just a mat. What the dilly? We can talk later.
Although my fears were always the villains. Don't know what that says about me. There was just so much charm with these villains. Each one had their own unique design, personality, which just made them stick out even more. Tabimura, Katnape, Panda Bubba, the Camellia Bot, but the focus was always on the two main villains, Jack and Wuya. And later Chase. Yeah, Chase was, he was pretty important. Wuya's... how can I describe Wuya? You know that old and cranky kindergarten teacher you had as a kid? The one that has a voice like nails on a chalkboard and screams right in your ear? Yeah, that's Wooya. Only with more sass.
Just do it! I don't have all eternity! Well, I do, but I don't want to spend it with you.
Chase Young is just... oh my god, this guy is just a badass through and through. He's cunning, powerful, smarmy, but he can also have his seriously funny moments. Especially when it comes to insulting Jack.
I do not wish to sound ungrateful, but why?
Because Spicer's an insect, and I enjoy squashing insects.
Speaking of the devil, Jack Spicer. This guy, oh my, this guy just stole the show for me. He is just so damn funny, you can't help but love him. This guy is seriously one of my favorite villains of all time. I love villains that have a sense of humor, like Hades from Hercules, or the Joker, my actual all-time favorite villain. And while Jack may not have that intimidation factor the Joker has, he still holds all that charm and personality that makes him stick out from other cartoon villains. And of course, nothing was more memorable in the show than the theme song. When you hear that initial... you just want to start doing kung fu for yourself, mate! In fact, thinking back, most of the theme songs of this time were fantastic. Going back to these cartoons made me realize just how many of these intros I remember on a subconscious level. Like, how do I remember some of these? And I'm going to prove it to you. We're going to play a little game, you and I.
Hello. I'd like to play a game with you.
Here's how this is going to work. I'm going to be playing the theme song of a famous cartoon. There'll be 4 possibilities on the screen, and it's up to you to figure out which one is the right answer. And you will realize just how ingrained these themes really are. If you want to play, set your annotations on and get ready. If you don't, then click on Roger to skip past this.
Hey, listen.
Okay, we with people who want to play? We with people who want to play? Great, then let's get started.
That it did. Now he's got superpowers, he's no ordinary kid, he's Ben 10.
Timmy is an average kid that no one understands. Mom and Dad and Vicky always giving him commands.
Beep me if you wanna reach me.
You see? It almost came as a reflex, didn't it? This is the beauty of these theme songs. You just... oh, wait. Oh, I'm just receiving word that the people who didn't play are about to come back. Okay. Shh. Okay, just shush. Pretend you're done fun. Okay. Hey! Good to have you back. Party pooper. When it comes to shows with good theme songs, there's just way too many to count, okay? But there's always been one above the rest. One that's always stuck out to me. Oh yeah, you know what it is. Digimon!
The Digivolution is up and running. Did you see? Did you hear?
Don't even try and act funny! Ah, Digimon. Or as I like to call it, better than Pokemon. Oh yes, I can just feel your hate for me. Oh, it fuels my soul. In all seriousness, the Digimon TV show may have been less successful than its main rival, but it also outshines its competitor in almost every way. More engaging story, more interesting characters, plots, locations, and every episode wasn't the goddamn same. That was a huge breath of fresh air. The story was about a group of kids who went camping one day, only to find these weird devices called Digivices. Shortly after that, a huge wormhole of doom and despair comes out of nowhere and sucks them all in.
This is why I never go camping. There's too many dangers. Wild boars, wild bears, wild wormholes. It's just too much.
Once arrived in this new world called the Digiworld, the gang manages to reunite in the weirdest forest since Alice in Wonderland's drug trip, along with some cute little critters.
Call me Multimon. Everyone does, actually.
Hi, Izzy. Meet Yokomon.
Hello, I am Tokomon.
Tsunomon is my name, and I am quite pleased to meet you.
You can buy them all now for the low price of $29.99 per plushie. Go make your parents' ears bleed today. Sadly, the group soon discovers that's not all cute and cuddly in the digital world. There are also bugs the size of skyscrapers flying around. I mean, Jesus! You thought Beetle was bad? Imagine this hellspawn flying after you. Someone get some raid. We need out of here. Suddenly, the heroes reach a dead end, and all hope seems lost. That is until their Digivices start flashing, and with the power of friendship, their Digimon manage to Digivolve. And yes, the chewing gum turns into a dinosaur, and the plant turns into a bird.
What's it calling that one, Darwin?
I'm too old for this.
So with their newfound strength, the heroes team up and make the bug creature run away. They cheer, they celebrate, and then they remember, oh yeah, we're in a freaking jungle on an alien world! So as you can guess, the rest of the story is to figure out how to get back to the real world. They'll come across all sorts of creatures, allies, villains, and a plethora of challenges that await them. Now many people think that Digimon is just a clone of the Pokemon cartoon, and yeah, I can see the similarities. A bunch of kids go on an adventure with creatures that possess supernatural abilities, and that can evolve to become even stronger. Yeah, that's pretty copy and paste, put it like that. But Digimon was so much more. First of all, the story was way more interesting. Instead of knowing exactly what was going to happen at exactly what moment, everything was a mystery. You were in a world where literally anything can happen at any moment. Expect the unexpected. This gave us some more interesting settings, characters, enemies, and an all-around more intriguing plot. And also, they win! Unlike a certain Ash Ketchum. Seriously, mate, how many leagues have you lost?
Secondly, the show had actual likable characters. As long as Mimi kept her mouth shut.
Tai was the leader of the group, Matt was the one who would butt heads with him all the time but still remain his best friend, something everyone and their mother has done by now. Sora, not that one, kind and caring. Izzy, the smart one with the catchphrase. Joe, the scaredy cat. TK, the runt of the group, and Mimi. No one likes Mimi. But just like with Shaolin Showdown, they never stayed those predetermined roles. Each character evolved, or rather, digivolved, and grew as a character. I'll just give you an example. TK may have been the youngest and kind of childish at times, but without him, the gang would have been screwed multiple times.
And that surely beats Misty and her one trait. That being of a screaming banshee.
Hey, what's the big idea? Come back here! And you're gonna pay for what you did to my bike! Now I can see why your Pokemon is in the...
And lastly, the villains. Now I can't fault Pokemon on this, they already had their villains and Jesse and James were fun. At least the first 100 times, but Digimon just came up with some of the most badass villains ever. Devimon, Machine Dramon, Myodismon, Edamon. Oh, no. We don't speak of him.
Those rock kids beat me again. Oh, I gotta find something easier to be
shut up.
And lastly, you all know my feelings towards the first Pokemon movie. Well, I can say, with 100% honesty, that the Digimon movie was way better than the...
I'm wishing you were here!
Nope! I lied! Wait, we decided to get that movie!
What we use?
I don't care, something, anything, but let me forget!
Wait, I've got it! Hello, my baby, hello, my honey, hello, my ragtime gal. Send me a kiss by wire. Baby, my heart's on fire. If you refuse me, honey, you lose me.
I mean, it works. No more.
Okay, I'm just gonna come clean. Fillmore, don't forget the exclamation point, is one of the best shows ever. Like, in all of television. Seriously, it's that good.
Think of this as a fusion between Starsky and Hutch and Recess. You just... Tell me if people know what Starsky and Hutch is. Oh, I feel old.
The story was about Cornelius Fillmore and Ingrid Third, two safety patrollers at Middle Lake School. Their job is to keep the halls safe from crimes like vandals, thieves, kidnappers, murderers, hitmen. Okay. There were never actually any murders. At least that's what they want you to think. No, there weren't any murders, don't worry. Fillmore! Was such a clever show. People talk about Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain for being clever, but I'd say Fillmore was up there with them. It took all of the cliches that made 1970s cop shows awesome and just brought it inside a school. From the corny catchphrases,
Disco.
Crackers.
Disco.
Crackers. Crackers. Crackers.
Disco.
to the wacky chase scenes, to the principal being a little completely bonkers, to the chief yelling at them all the time. And when I say all of them, I mean you feel like you're watching an old buddy cop show. It manages to make small things like books being taken from the library, tests being stolen and graffiti, and turns them into something massive with twists, turns, reveals. Each episode actually managed to keep you on your feet. All 26 of them.
Ugh. Yes, back in those days, it didn't matter how popular a show was. If it didn't sell toys, it was on. Well, it's a good thing shows nowadays aren't decided by stupid reasons like that, huh? Oh, you had to bring that up, didn't ya?
And as a result, we only got 2 seasons of this show, each only having 13 episodes. And that stinks, because this show was amazing. Honestly, they should really think about bringing this show back to life. Just make sure it's done by the same guys, okay? I don't know why, but I don't really trust reboots nowadays.
And if your only goal is to sell toys, then just make the show about the toys! Like Yu-Gi-Oh!
Don't get me wrong, I have nothing but nostalgic love for this show. It couldn't have been easy to take a card game, and one as convoluted as Yu-Gi-Oh! And turn it into a tale of epic proportions. And they succeeded! At least back then.
Yeah, looking back on this show was pretty hard. On the one side, my inner child just screamed, "It's time to duel!" This is still badass. And on the other, my adult side just said, "Wow, I used to watch this." In fact, I think I need to show you guys all the stupid moments of the first episode. In fact, I think I need to do it in a parodying way.
Okay, -1 point for the iconic theme song. I said 1 point! Every character's eyes sparkle except Seto Kaiba's, because he's Seto effing Kaiba. Get used to that. How old are these characters? Yuki barely looks like he's 10, Tia looks like she's 15, and Joey looks like he's old enough to work at your local McDonald's. What class is this? Also, where's the teacher? If I was caught playing cards inside a classroom back at school, I'd have those suckers confiscated and 1,000 lines to write for tomorrow morning.
I just have better cards. See, my grandpa owns a game shop, and I get all my best cards from him.
Yugi is good at duel monsters only because he can get any card he wants thanks to his grandfather.
Your own game shop? What are we waiting for? Let's go!
Joey takes advantage of 8-year-old Yugi. That could have come out better.
Maybe I can even get my grandpa to show us this super rare card he's got.
Yugi shouts about his grandfather's ultra-rare card loud enough for Kaiba to hear and for the plot to take place. Thank God Yugi's a bragging loudmouth. Grandfather's game shop is called Game.
Could you show my friends your awesome super rare card?
Ha ha! How can I refuse?
Grandfather shows ultra-rare card of which there are only 4 copies to random strangers. Bragging seems to be in the dreams of the Moto family.
Doesn't look all that special to me.
Well, it won't look impressive upside down, will it?
Seto Kaiba!
Kaiba?
Doesn't he have a big fancy company to run? What's he doing down here?
Tristan's doing my work for me.
Hey, are you into Duel Monsters too?
How could you not know he was into Duel Monsters? He is the undefeated world champion and his company manufactures the damn cards. Even people not into Duel Monsters would know that.
Give me your Blue Eyes White Dragon card and I'll trade you all of these.
Now, trying to trade a Blue Eyes White Dragon for cards like Spider Launcher and Labyrinth Tank I can get behind, but what made you think he'll be enticed by cards like Block Attack, Muyan Curry and Remove Trap? You're trying to scam the old man.
No.
Close up to villain's eye cliche.
These cards are all about power.
Main villain's only goal in life is power cliche.
Grandpa, are you okay?
Grandfather is dying after losing in a game of cards. I heard that only happened in Las Vegas, and that's when you win too much. Rather than call the police to arrest Kaiba for kidnapping and assault, Yuki prefers to settle this over a game of cards. Also, conflict resolved by duel cliche.
Trust me, you're like the best player I've ever seen, and you've got the Millennium Puzzle.
Wait, what? Did you just name drop the Millennium Puzzle? We've never even heard of it up until now.
Everyone, put your hands together, and I'll mark us with a special sign.
Tia's special sign is a smiley face.
So when Yugi's dueling, no matter how tough it gets, he'll know that he's not alone. We're all right there with him.
Companions are with the hero by heart cliche. Holy! Yugi just transformed out of nowhere! We had no prior knowledge of this thing. A little context would be nice. Yugi's transformation is basically him hitting puberty. Without the acne. You lucky, lucky bastard.
It's my virtual simulator. It creates lifelike holograms of every duel monster.
So this is how you beat my grandfather.
What? How does a virtual simulator help Kaiba in any way? It's just aesthetics. Don't make excuses because your grandfather lost Yugi. Yugi is being destroyed by a clown. Also, is Kaiba not playing any cards? He's just attacking the monster Yugi played with the same clown. Either he hasn't got any other monsters, or he's just throwing his cards to the graveyard for no reason and not going for the kill. Either way, Kaiba should have won this easily. Bad world champion there. What? Grandfather's in a respirator and taken to the ER for a game of cards? Man, dueling sure was a lot more dangerous back then. And that's why we're playing on motorbikes nowadays.
But it does contain the unstoppable Exodia.
Wow, you just showed Kaiba that card with no prior knowledge of it being Exodia. I know you believe in the heart of cards and all, but probability says that could have just as easily been Petimoff, and that wouldn't have looked half as cool.
Exodia! Obliterate! But if you put your heart in the game, there is nothing you can't do.
Believe in inanimate item cliche. Yugi just broke Kaiba's soul.
Okay, that's enough of that.
Although Yu-Gi-Oh! Can get pretty crazy, especially in the later seasons with Egyptian god cards, possessions, Shadow Realm, Soul Capture, Destruction of the World, Jesus guys, it's a card game, it's not that serious! It was still a lot of fun to watch as a kid, and even now. And come on, we all wish that the cards would come to life and fight for us.
I know you're in there! Well, this was a nice trip down memory lane for me. And it's nice to know that, despite the time that's gone by, my childhood still holds up to this day. I mean, you could take any one of these shows we talked about, slap them on TV, and people would eat them up. Yep, they don't make them like they used to. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna watch me some cartoons. Now then,